In this video, we will be exploring signals in operating systems. Signals are asynchronous notifications between processes, allowing them to communicate and respond to events in a non-blocking manner. Signals are software interrupts that provide a mechanism for handling asynchronous events between processes or between the kernel and processes. They represent a limited form of inter-process communication. Signals notify a process that a specific event has occurred, such as a user pressing Ctrl+C, a timer expiring, or a child process terminating. Signals can be sent by the kernel, other processes, or the process itself. Each signal has a default action, like termination or ignoring, and can be handled or ignored by the receiving process. Here are some common Unix and Linux signals, divided into terminal and process control signals, and error and special condition signals. First, let's look at terminal and process control signals. SIUP signal hang-up is number 1. It indicates that a hang-up was detected on the terminal, or the controlling process died. SIGINT signal interrupt is number 2. It's sent when an interrupt is generated from the keyboard, typically Ctrl+C. SIGQUIT signal quit is number 3. This is a quit signal from the keyboard, usually Ctrl+\\. SIGKILL signal kill is number 9. It's a kill signal that cannot be caught or ignored, forcefully terminating a process. SIGTERM signal termination is number 15. It's a termination signal, used by the default kill command, requesting a process to terminate gracefully. SIGSTOP signal stop is number 19. It stops a process and it also cannot be caught or ignored. Now let's examine error and special condition signals. SIGF signal floating point exception is number 8. It indicates a floating point exception, such as division by 0. SIGSEGF signal segmentation violation is number 11. It signifies an invalid memory reference, leading to a segmentation fault. SIGPIPE signal pipe is number 13. It occurs when writing to a pipe with no readers, indicating a broken pipe. SIGALARM signal alarm is number 14. This is a timer signal from the alarm system call, used for setting timers. SIGUSER1 signal user 1 is number 10. It's a user-defined signal, which is application-specific. SIGUSER2 signal user 2 is number 12. It's another user-defined signal, also application-specific. When a signal is delivered to a process, the process can respond in one of 3 ways. It can take the default action, letting the kernel handle the signal according to its default behavior, such as terminating the process. It can ignore the signal, telling the kernel to discard the signal, except for SIGKILL and SIGSTOP, which cannot be ignored. Or it can catch the signal, registering a signal handler function to be executed when the signal arrives, allowing custom actions to be performed. Default actions typically include terminating the process, terminating with a core dump, stopping the process, continuing a stopped process, or ignoring the signal. Signal handlers are registered using the signal or SIGAction system calls. A basic signal handler registration can be implemented in C. Here's an example. First, we define a function named signal_handler that takes an integer sig as input. Inside the function, we check if sig equals SIGINT. If it does, we print caught SIGINT. Then in the main function, we call the signal function to register signal_handler for the SIGINT signal. Finally, we enter an infinite loop, pausing for 1 second in each iteration to wait for incoming signals. The SIGAction function provides more control over signal handling than the basic signal function. It offers more reliability across different Unix implementations. It allows blocking signals during handler execution, preventing interruptions. It provides flags to control handler behavior, such as specifying whether the handler should be reset after being called. And it can specify which signals to block during handler execution, providing finer-grained control. Here's an example of using SIGAction in C. First, we define a function named handler that takes an integer sig as input. Inside the function, we print caught signal followed by the signal number. Then in the main function, we declare a SIGAction structure named SA. We set the SA_handler member to the handler function. We use Sigempticit to initialize the SA_mask member, which specifies the set of signals to be blocked during the execution of the signal handler. Then we set the SA_flags member to 0. Finally, we call the SIGAction function to register the new handler for the SIGINT signal. Signals can be sent from the command line or from within program code. The kill command sends signals to processes. For example, kill SIGTERM 1234 sends a SIGTERM signal to process with ID 1234. Alternatively, kill -15 1234 achieves the same result, as 15 is the number of SIGTERM. Other useful commands include PIL, which sends signals to processes by name, KILL, which kills processes by name, and PREP, which lists process IDs of processes by name. For example, PIL SIGTERM Firefox sends a SIGTERM signal to all processes named Firefox. Programs can send signals using system calls. The kill function sends a signal to a specified process, while the raise function sends a signal to the calling process itself. For example, if kill PID SIGTERM equals -1 checks if sending a SIGTERM signal to a process failed, and if so, prints an error message. The raise function can be called as simply raise SIGASR1, which sends a SIGASR1 signal to the current process. A signal mask specifies which signals are blocked from delivery to a process. Each process has its own signal mask, determining which signals are currently prevented from being delivered. Blocked signals remain pending until unblocked, at which point they can be delivered to the process. Multiple instances of the same signal are merged, meaning that if a signal is blocked and sent multiple times, it will only be delivered once when unblocked. Important to note is that SIGKILL and SIGSTOP cannot be blocked, ensuring that processes can always be forcefully terminated or stopped. Signal masks can be manipulated using several functions. Sigempticit initializes a signal set, clearing all signals from the set. SIGFILLSET initializes a signal set to include all signals. SIGITSET adds a specific signal to a set. SIGDLSET removes a signal from a set. SIGPROCmask is used to block or unblock signals, modifying the signal mask of the calling process. Signals are used in various real-world applications, particularly in system administration and application development. In system administration, many daemons use SIOP to reload configuration files without restarting. SIGTERM allows services to clean up resources and shut down properly before exiting, ensuring a graceful termination. Signals trigger log files to be closed, rotated, and reopened without service interruption, facilitating effective log management. Watchdog processes use signals to check if services are responsive or need to be restarted, ensuring system stability. In application development, signal handlers ensure proper cleanup of resources, such as memory, files, and connections, before termination, preventing resource leaks. Applications can save their state when receiving signals, allowing recovery after crashes, improving reliability. SIGASR1 and SIGASR2 enable custom communication between related processes for specific actions, allowing for flexible inter-process coordination. SIGLORM allows implementing timeouts for operations that might otherwise block indefinitely, preventing deadlocks and ensuring responsiveness. When handling signals, it's crucial to keep safety considerations in mind. Signal handlers should be minimal and avoid complex operations that could lead to race conditions. Only use functions that are guaranteed to be safe within signal handlers, known as async signal safe functions. Minimize access to shared data structures that might be in an inconsistent state. When implementing signal handling strategies, it is generally advisable to set volatile flags in signal handlers and check them in the main program loop to prevent unintended data corruption. Prefer SIGAction over Signal for more reliable and portable signal handling across systems. Some systems reset signal handlers after they're triggered. Reinstall them if needed. In summary, signals provide a powerful mechanism for asynchronous communication between processes, but require careful implementation to avoid race conditions and ensure reliable behavior. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.